Worm, prepare yourself. Damn Saiyan.
Guys, don't forget to sign and share our petition to add Broly into Fortnite. I'm gonna leave a link to it in the description below. I could have gone my whole life without knowing the truth about Dragon Ball Super's God forms, and with that said, I could have gone my whole life without seeing Dragon Ball Super's Resurrection of F-Arc because I completely skipped that once I started watching the anime. And if I hadn't, I wouldn't have skipped this painful truth.
And unlike me, Vegeta didn't have the benefit of absorbing the energy from the Saiyan ritual. He had to figure it out all from scratch.
Yep. Yeah. Damn, Vegeta!
Yeah, that was dubbed, so you may be thinking that the subbed version is different, but no, the subbed version basically says the exact same thing. That Vegeta did not need anybody's help to go into Super Saiyan Blue. And the dub version says that he did not absorb the God Ki from the Super Saiyan God ritual. And so he just did it on his own. He learned it from scratch, Super Saiyan Blue. Alright, what the hell. Before I get into this video, I'm going to give a big shout out to RevoluShane. He's the one who brought this to my attention on Twitter. So I want to go ahead and leave a link to not only his YouTube page, where he's got a whole bunch of Dragon Ball related videos, but also his Twitter account. Go ahead and check him out. He knows what he's talking about, obviously, and he was one of the 10 people who sat through the Dragon Ball Super's Resurrection of F-Arc because, again, I skipped that entirely. I was not going to watch that trash after I've seen the glory that was the movie, because the movie had, even though the writing was essentially the same, the anime had so many worse parts to it, and just the animation to me was completely subpar, so I skipped it and went straight into the Universe 6 arc. And before you start giving me crap about skipping it, the manga did the same thing. Taro skipped that arc because he knew it was trash. And yeah, there's nothing else you can add to it to make it interesting. And the anime tried. And yeah, that's they tried and they added this. This is not in the movie. This little section where Goku just starts spouting off about how you don't need the God ritual to go into Super Saiyan Blue. And it just brings up a plethora of unanswered questions now. Now, this is a basis for where many discussions and videos can be made, because if you do not need the Super Saiyan God ritual to go into Super Saiyan Blue, then how is Super Saiyan Blue the next step from Super Saiyan God? Or can you go into Super Saiyan God without using the ritual? How is that possible? I mean, what many people are saying is that, okay, well, the way that Vegeta went into Super Saiyan Blue is because he trained with Whis. You can train with an angel and get the God Ki and ultimately unlock it for yourself. For me, I think that's bullshit. Even though it is in here, it is what Goku stated. So we have to take that as at face value, that Goku is saying that, yeah, Vegeta did it without the ritual. So I think that's bullshit, because the ritual itself, it gives you a starting point where you can start from and know exactly where these forms come from. So you know that you needed the Saiyan's help to get into Super Saiyan God, and from there you build on to that with Super Saiyan, mixing in Super Saiyan, and then you get Super Saiyan Blue. I mean, it just makes sense that way. But now that you don't need the ritual, I guess not now, but this episode came out probably more than a year ago. Now that we don't need the ritual, then where the hell are you getting all these God? Where the hell is Vegeta getting this God Ki from? I mean, it's easy to say, okay, he got it from Whis. Whis gave it to him, but it's such a weird thing to add into this. And for me, this is one of the downfalls, the pitfalls of Super, because they didn't have to explain this. Goku could have just kept his mouth shut, but no. And again, I didn't watch this episode in Japanese, and I didn't watch it in dubbed up until recently, but yeah, he could have just kept his mouth shut, and then we would have had, like, okay, before Blue, you had to go into God. I was always under the assumption that Vegeta always had God, and he had already gone through the ritual. That's how he got Blue. But now you're telling me that no, he didn't have to do the ritual, so he doesn't really have Super Saiyan God, unless Super Saiyan God can be attained without the ritual. But I call more bullshit on that one, because Goku did not say that. Goku said that he attained Super Saiyan Blue without the ritual. So, I mean, I don't think that means that he can go into Super Saiyan God. I think these are two completely forms at this point. I feel like he got infused with God Ki, and then he was able to go into Super Saiyan Blue. And it just pisses me off when Vegeta has to go through just more shortcuts than Goku just to get on his same level. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, if it wasn't Super Saiyan 4, Vegeta had to use the Blood Swave machine. It's now that he just gets the God Key from essentially him finding it out on his own, is what it says, and not really explaining whether he got it from Whis, he got it from Beerus. It doesn't explain anything. It just, you have to take it at face value. He got it on his own. So now Vegeta knows the art of unlocking God Key. Now, unless the movies explain, like, maybe Vegeta's ancestors knew about God Key, maybe that's why he was able to go into it, then maybe that will explain some of it. I mean, this brings up an interesting idea of what Super Saiyan Rage Trunks was, because we all saw it and we're like, what the hell is that? It's essentially Trunks with the blue aura around his Super Saiyan aura, and it almost looks like he's going into blue, but not really. But now that we know that Vegeta was able to attain blue on his own, how is it far-fetched to think that Trunks didn't try to do the same thing just by going through anger and stuff? He is the son of Vegeta, so technically the form that we see, the Super Saiyan Rage form, that could be a mixture of Super Saiyan and of him trying to combine Super Saiyan with the blue God Key. I mean, do all Saiyans have access to this blue God Key now? Can Gohan just seemingly go into God, into blue? I don't know. This little excerpt just doesn't make any sense when you try to think of it logically, and I guess that's what I'm trying to get at, where I know a lot of Dragon Ball doesn't really make sense, but I figured when it came to the Super Saiyan God forms that they at least started to make some sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Super Saiyan forms always made sense for the most part, and then we got these forms, and they, we didn't know which one was stronger, God or Blue, until we got, until the manga told us that Blue is stronger, and the anime essentially confirmed that with the fight against Jiren. And then now we have this where it almost seems like these two forms are not even connected to each other. It doesn't make any sense for there to be a whole ritual that Goku has to go into, and then Vegeta figuring it out on his own. Is what it says. It doesn't say he gets help from Whis or Beerus. And then Vegeta going into the Super Saiyan God transformation on his own. It just doesn't make any sense in that aspect. So what does this leave us with? Well, as my previous video stated, in the new Dragon Ball Super Broly movie, we got a picture of what looks like Super Saiyan God Vegeta that he will be in the movie. So if that is the case, then this is two different scenarios. Number one, somehow Vegeta, even after evolution, decided to use the ritual to become Super Saiyan God, to go into an inferior transformation, and that's the one we're gonna see in the movie. And number two, Goku's full of shit, and he never really, and maybe Vegeta lied to him or something, or maybe he didn't know. Though, how would Vegeta lie to him if Goku needs to be part of the ritual? Or maybe Goku was just trying to stroke his ego or something, which is also sort of far-fetched. So, okay, that scenario doesn't even play out, really. So the only other thing I can think of is that the God transformations, those can be unlocked without the ritual. Like the Super Saiyan God transformation can be unlocked without the ritual. You don't need it. And that just is so baffling to me. It just brings up a whole plethora of different questions. I mean, like I said, can anybody do this now? Can Gohan, Goten, Trunks, Broly, can they all go into this form without really having to use the ritual anymore? It just felt like it makes Battle of Gods almost pointless. Like that movie, that arc, it just makes it like it doesn't really matter. And hopefully the movie comes out and explains God a little bit more, because I'm thinking that there's going to be some hidden connotations here, and they're going to try to explain Yamoshi a little bit, hopefully. And so maybe they're going to retcon what Goku says, and then Vegeta's like, yeah, I did the ritual even against my own will, or whatever the case might be. And then, the one line that Goku says during the one arc nobody watched can be finally put to rest in a shallow grave. But I just want to know what you guys think. What are your thoughts? Do you guys have any theories or any explanations on what this could be about? Do you need the ritual to go into God? Do you need God to go into Blue? Those are the questions that we're faced with. Let me know in the comment section, guys. I'm out of here. This is BlackScape signing off.